Growth rarely announces itself with fireworks. It begins quietly, almost invisibly, like a seed tucked beneath the soil. You water, you tend, you show up day after day, yet for a while, nothing seems to happen. That's the first lesson of the growth curve. It's predictable, but it's never instant. People often confuse the silence of early effort with lack of progress, when in truth, the roots are taking hold. Strength is forming where the eye cannot see. Every meaningful achievement in life follows this rhythm: first the planting, then the nurturing, then the waiting, and only after that, the reward. Most people abandon their goals right before the curve was about to rise. They misunderstand the nature of growth. They want the fruit before the tree, the reward before the effort, the applause before the discipline. But life doesn't work on a vending machine schedule. It works on seasons. When you understand seasons, patience becomes a strategy instead of a burden. You stop rushing the process and start respecting it. During the early stage of any worthwhile pursuit, progress may appear slow, even unfairly slow. You put in hours of practice, study, or preparation, and it seems like the needle barely moves, but the curve is forming. The invisible part is always the longest part, yet it's also the most important. If you stay consistent long enough, something remarkable happens. The curve bends. What once felt heavy becomes manageable. What once felt confusing becomes clear, and suddenly others call it overnight success. Not realizing the nights you spent working quietly when no one was watching, the growth curve rewards those who understand its timing. Keep watering the seed, keep showing up. The day will come when the roots you built in silence will break through the surface and announce themselves for all to see. Success doesn't arrive in one grand gesture. It's built through the small, almost trivial decisions you make every day. Most people underestimate the power of tiny disciplines because they seem too simple, too ordinary to matter. But that's the quiet secret of the growth curve. Little habits, repeated consistently, carry a force that time amplifies. A single push-up won't change your life, but the decision to do one every day just might. Reading for 10 minutes won't transform your mind overnight, but 10 minutes repeated across months and years can sharpen your thinking beyond what you once believed possible. The challenge with small disciplines is easy to understand. They're easy to do, but they're also easy not to do. Skipping a day doesn't appear catastrophic, and because the consequences hide themselves at first, we trick ourselves into believing the missed effort was harmless. But the curve is always being shaped by these choices. Each small discipline nudges it upward. Each neglect tilts it downward. Over time, the difference becomes enormous. Think of your day as a field. You plant something in it, whether you intend to or not. Every small action is a seed. The question isn't whether you're planting. It's what you're planting. A moment of gratitude here, a bit of learning there, a brief period of focused work. These are seeds of advancement. Gossip, procrastination, excuses, these are seeds of decline. Time doesn't judge. It simply multiplies whatever you feed it. When you practice a small discipline long enough, something profound happens. The discipline becomes part of your identity. You begin to trust yourself. You start seeing evidence of change, and that evidence fuels belief. Belief fuels action, and action reshapes the curve of your life. Never overlook the minor choices. They may look insignificant now, but they are quietly drawing the trajectory of your future. Every life grows in the soil it's planted in. You can have the greatest potential, the brightest ideas, and the strongest ambition, but if your environment doesn't support growth, progress becomes a constant uphill battle. People often wonder why their lives don't change, yet they continue sitting in the same atmosphere that produces the same thoughts, the same habits, and the same results. The growth curve is deeply influenced by the company you keep, the conversations you entertain, and the habits you allow to surround you. Environment is not just where you live, it's what you allow to shape you. Spend enough time around people who complain, and soon their complaints begin to slip into your language. Spend enough time around people who dream, and dreams begin to feel normal. The curve responds to these influences quietly but powerfully. If you want your life to rise, put yourself in places where rising is expected, not ridiculed. Seek out those who encourage discipline, curiosity, and responsibility.